Before I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I didn't know of diabetes at all. I didn't even know the word diabetes.
It's Sunday evening at the Meads-Barlow household. Everyone goes about their business. What can't be shown on film, however, is the aching chasm in this household, one that can't be filmed and can't be filled. A daughter is absent. That daughter is Danii.
We found out Tyler had type 1 diabetes. We'd been on holiday in New Zealand and she had been drinking copious amounts of icy cold water, and then she was very sick on the plane on the way home, and I took her to the doctor and we thought it was just a food allergy, and they did a random blood test as we left. There was no reason for it. The doctor just said, as you're leaving, we'll do a quick blood test and see if there's any problem. And she rang us 4 hours later and said that Tyler had to get to emergency. They were waiting for her. There was no time for an ambulance. Just get her there. So we got her there and the doctors came in and told us she had type 1 diabetes.
When I was diagnosed, I got put on syringes. So about 4 times a day I had to have some insulin, and then I gradually moved on to pens, and then I'm now on a pump.
I think the most frightening thing for people with diabetes is having a hypo overnight. There's a lot of people have hypo unawareness, and obviously when you're asleep you don't know that your blood glucose is falling.
I remember sitting in the hospital the first night after Violet was diagnosed, and I did what everybody says not to do, and I asked Dr. Google all about type 1 diabetes, and I remember being terrified because I read about shortened life expectancy and complications and dead in bed.
From the time that your child is diagnosed, every night, 365 days a year, you are always on edge and constantly checking to make sure that your child is travelling okay. Unfortunately, what we have lived is every parent's nightmare.
If she wants a banana or an apple, we have to administer the correct dose of insulin for that apple. We have to know whether it's a small apple or an average size apple or a large apple and account for it accordingly.
An insulin pump was developed in the United States that actually, when your blood glucose falls, it alarms.
This new alarm technology that we're trying incredibly hard to get in is a massively important part of management of type 1 diabetes. And the most important stage is when you go to sleep. You know, you're not in control. It's 7 or 8 hours of not being able to check yourself or to eat, and it's just so important that we can get this technology in to improve the day-to-day lives of many thousands of type 1 diabetics around the world.
The Danii Foundation has helped me in so many different ways, basically by offering me trials. They're helping me a lot right now in the sense that I'm on a 2-week trial for a new technology called Dario, and it's practically the closest thing to constant glucose monitoring that I can get that isn't constant glucose monitoring, and it's just this little machine that you plug into your phone, and it kind of keeps track of everything. It can send text messages to your parents, and if you haven't checked, let's say you set an alarm for 11:20, and if you haven't checked by 11:30, it sends an automatic text message to your mum saying she hasn't checked, you know, she hasn't done all this.
Right around the time we got the pump, I remember seeing something on Facebook. It was through one of the diabetes pages, and it was the story of Danii, and I really related to it instantly because here was a young girl that was 5 when she was diagnosed, which was the same as my little girl, did the same sorts of things, you know, did the dance and the singing and all the rest. And I remember reading, for the first time hearing about dead in bed, and just being absolutely terrified. So we looked at a CGM, and we made it a very strong goal to get one right away. Somebody mentioned Donna and said, oh, have you contacted Donna, she's got this foundation that helps families that, you know, might be struggling to get a CGM. So I sent an email and got a response quite quickly, and was absolutely bowled over when Donna said, well, yeah, here's some financial assistance. You know, she explained a bit about, you know, what the Danii Foundation does, and, you know, the importance that she places on giving families the opportunity to have that safety at night and to have that just better control of their child's diabetes.
The Danii Meads Barlow Foundation sponsored me to go onto the jelly bean cruise, and I learned so much stuff. And Emily made me decide to get CGM, which is a little section on my pump that shows me my blood sugars. So I only have to do about 2 finger pricks a day instead of 10.
That's why the Danii Meads Barlow Foundation, that's what we want to do. We really want to bring this technology into Australia, and we'll create the technology if we need to, if that's the outcome that is required for us to have this alarm device that will change the lives of parents and people that live with diabetes. I know in myself that if this technology was here, if this alarm device was here, so would Daniela be here too.